So it turns out Cervolen is actually the strongest Loomian in the game right now, all because of a bug. So let's go over it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people already know about this, although I've only learned about it recently, and I had to do a video on it because it's just so silly, unlike what the brokenness about it is. But it is all to do with Stampede, which is a somewhat fairly niche move. Only 2 Loomians get it. Lumala, which doesn't use it because Lumala doesn't use its melee attack stat, and Cervolen, which only got it kind of recently, although nobody uses Cervolen, so it took a while for people to figure out, oh, it's actually broken. So just to explain what Stampede is actually meant to do, it is meant to look at all of the Loomians that are participating in a battle on your team, also your bench is not included, and it's meant to take their average base melee attack stat, and that is the base power that Stampede will be. So for example, if all of my Loomians are alive, it'll add up all of their base melee attack stats and then divide it by 5. So in most cases, that if you're actually going to be using Stampede, you're looking at like 100 to 120 base power. Not super great, and also it does restrict you to like basically using an entire team full of melee attackers, which isn't super good. Although I will say, Stampede is getting a rework. So if we go to the training tab really fast so I can actually show the numbers, this is the base melee attack stat number, which is 110. Turns out, it doesn't use this number when calculating the power of Stampede. It uses this number all the way over here, which obviously is a lot freaking higher than that number on the left. And yeah, this number also varies depending on what level you are. So if I quickly go to my Gargolem, it's a lot freaking lower. However, in PvP battles, you can select level 100. So yeah, with this team that I have right now consisting of some of the highest melee attacking stats in the game, Stampede's base power is 426.8, rounded down to 426. So basically, even if you resist the move, it can still one-shot you. You need to resist the move and be bulky. For example, Luminami, Obsidragon, they die. Even if they're investing so much into the melee defense, it doesn't care. Especially because Cervolen also gets a boast increase. Yeah, it's pretty freaking scary. Okay then, I think I found my first victim. They do have their own Cervolen, but there's like no melee attackers on the team, so don't care about that. So the only thing I gotta really worry about is a potential boot user, which none of these are really common boot users, and Stratasol because it's a bulky resistant Loomian. Oh yeah, we also have Wabblisk and Yursnak just to fill out the team, so it might not give away what I'm doing immediately, but it probably does. Anyway, I got my boast increase immediately, so let's just start throwing out Stampedes. And because they're level 100, I don't have to worry about energy at all. Clutch Plushie is a little bit annoying low. I might be able to live a hit from that. I do. Okay, we're fine. I do get days low. Chances on me hitting myself right now would be super unfortunate. Doesn't matter. We just bypass it. Hopefully I don't hit myself. That would be pretty unlucky. That would be really, really bad. Anyway, Stratasol is coming out. I mean, if this is Soul Burst, honestly, if it's Soul Burst, I might just one-shot it. They don't Soul Burst? Okay, maybe it's just bulky? Nope, that is definitely a Soul Burst one. It definitely has, like, no melee defense investment or any investment into, like, health at all. Yeah. That just goes to show you, like, how strong Stampede is. It is actually broken. Okay, going into their own Cervolen now. They're both also lowered because mine's running very brawny, and because we tie, then it just lowers. So, yep, I mean, I'll speed you, I'll one-shot you as well. I only have enough energy for 3 more Stampedes, I think, but they only have, like, what? 2 more Loomians? So, I think we'll be fine, unless this is a potential boot user. Please don't be. Oh, quick pounce. That scared me for a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. It kinda did. But hey, at least we already got rid of our Clutch Plushie, so we know that the rest of our team can't possibly be Clutch Plushie. And now to Clips. I mean, yeah, this is just game, right? I don't think there's anything they can do unless this is their boot user. Maybe? And it isn't. So, yeah. Stampede is very silly right now. Okay, we found our next victim, although Dorigo might be Clutch Plushie, so hopefully isn't. Also, they have got a few things that might actually lower my burst, which is definitely one of the few ways to completely counter Cervolen, although obviously it's not the best. And obviously the reason for that is because you need to specifically have your high melee attacker on the field at all times to prevent Cervolen switching in and getting that burst increase, which obviously for me, I'm just leading off with Cervolen. I'm actually not planning to use any of my other Loomians because, yeah, Cervolen is obviously trained, although I have 4 moves, I'm only clicking Stampede. And my Behemoth is actually my boost Behemoth. I just gave an Earth Essence so I could run competitive teams, so I don't fight against multiple Clutch Plushie users and Boot users. But these other Loomians, this Gargolem, it's a reskin. I don't use reskins. All I did was I basically got this because it was brawny, and I gave it max melee attack TPs. Same thing for Cervolen, I gave it very brawny, I gave it 200 melee attack. Same for Trumbull, very brawny, 200 melee attack. I am not planning to use these, so obviously, I'm mostly an idiot. My Cervolen is a lot harder to take down because, I mean, just one wrong Loomian I'm playing against is game over. But Cervolen can do so much damage on its own, and then after all of that, you've finally taken down the raid boss, to say, and then you have to deal with the rest of the team. So, yeah. It's kinda dumb. Obviously, I'm just gonna click Stampede. I mean, that's the entire strategy, you just spam the one move. But also, there are a couple of counters to it, which I'll also let you know right now. Also, having some melee attackers with higher melee attack than Cervolen is a check, not really counter, because like I said, I'm leading off with my Cervolen. Most people aren't going to be leading off with their Cervolen. I guess a dead giveaway on if you're actually going to fight against a Cervolen before you accept a battle request is checking to see if the battle request is level 100. Obviously, the higher level your Loomians, the more melee attack stats they have, so the higher Stampede is, which I think I said in the intro is like, what, over 400 base power? I think this specific move I'm clicking right now is 426 base power, which is obviously very silly. Oh, Barb Trap. That is a little unfortunate. It does waste a little bit of my energy, but it's fine. The worst part is we get poisoned. Oh. Stampede isn't contact, is it? Okay, that's also a broken part about it. Oops. Okay, well, that's good to know, I guess, for reference. But other than that, obviously, like, you can bring, like, your bulky Loomians that resist it, like Icicle, or, all I can think about right now is Icicle. Tundral is also really, really good about it. But even then, you can't really switch them into the battle. Like, your snack, I think you can, and then also you want to click slap down, remove the freaking specialty boots from it. That way it's a lot easier to deal with. But like things like Tundral, you can't switch it into the battle, otherwise you just get two-shotted. You have to bring it in as a revenge killer and then just click body crash, but if you're against anyone else but me, they're obviously going to switch out their Cervolen, so it's definitely really tricky to go against. And yeah, other than that, low, you've got things like what? Faster boot users like Tatab with also Jungle Jutsu, or Lantorch with Flare, they can just straight up one-hit KO you. Then you also have to worry about things like, I guess there's also Weaselin with Trader, Heavy Shackles, and yeah, outside of that, I mean, even all of those like check and counters could still completely do nothing, depending on what the opponent's team is. Obviously, I'm running just the highest melee attackers in general, which for this strategy requires them. But I mean, yeah, with the 4 other Looms I have on my team, one of them can probably at least weaken the Tatab or just remove it, for example, so you gotta be careful about it. And also, it has got quick pounce, so if it doesn't lock itself into Stampede immediately, and it sees something like a Tatab on one shot, I can just go for a quick pounce. So, yeah, basically, just watch out for it. Okay, it is going to be fixed, but I guess for the next couple of weeks, have fun, I guess, with this absolutely broken freaking monster. I'm going to try and get it actually completely reworked with the Loomunity event. I'm actually going to completely change it to like a 25 base power move that hits 5 times for, well, it hits 1 time for every Loomian in your party that is healthy and not fainted. So, yeah, it's going to get reworked, and hopefully that will make it not so much broken.